welcome back to Anetronics. This video is about Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. This artificial intelligence has become a popular field as it has enhanced human life in many areas, and also many are interested in starting with this artificial intelligence. So without late, let me tell you what all I'm gonna cover in this simple introduction to artificial intelligence. First, we'll start up by understanding what exactly is this artificial intelligence, and then I'll let you know the difference between the artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning, and then I will end up by explaining this machine learning and deep learning very briefly. Do subscribe and hit the bell icon to be updated with my new videos. Now let's get into the video. This is all about artificial intelligence. First, let me tell you why AI. This AI makes it possible for machines to learn from experience, that is, adjust to new inputs and perform human-like tasks. Most AI examples that you hear about today, that is from chess playing computers to self-driving cars, rely heavily on deep learning and natural language processing. AI applications are present in every single industry, from banking and finance to medical science, and also in aerospace. When it comes to banking sector, this artificial intelligence is the future of banking, as it brings the power of advanced data analytics to combat fraudulent transactions and improve compliance. Features such as AI bots, digital payment advisors, and biometric fraud detection mechanisms lead to higher quality of services to a wider customer base. All this translates to increased revenue, reduced costs, and boosts in profits. This AI is strengthening competitiveness of banks through enhanced customer service. That is, based on past interactions, AI develops a better understanding of customers and their behavior. This enables banks to deliver meaningful customer engagement and build strong relationships with its customers. Next is prediction of future outcomes and trends. With its power to predict future scenarios by analyzing past behaviors, AI helps banks predict future outcomes and trends. Next, cognitive process automation. That is, this feature enables automation of a variety of information-intensive, costly, and error-prone banking services like claims management. This secures ROI, reduced costs, and ensures accurate and quick processing of services at each step. Next is realistic interactive interfaces. See, chatbots identify the context and emotions in the text chat and respond to it in the most appropriate way. So this helps the banking sector. Next is effective decision making. Cognitive systems that think and respond like human experts provide optimal solutions based on available data in real time. Robotic automation of processes. AI reviews and transforms processes by applying robotic process automation. This enables automation of about 80% of repetitive work processes, allowing knowledge workers to dedicate their time in value-add operations that require high level of human intervention. When it comes to gaming, a majority of the video games, whether they are featuring racing car games, shooting games, or strategy games, they all have different components that are powered by AI or relative applications. For example, the enemy bots are those neutral characters. The main objective of utilizing AI in gaming is to deliver a realistic gaming experience for players to battle against each other on a virtual platform. In addition, AI in gaming also helps to increase the player's interest and satisfaction over a long period of time. Creating these artificial environments by incorporating virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality seems to be the future of the gaming industry. The rise of artificial intelligence is an equally important stepping stone in developing games that are smarter and more interactive and as close to reality as possible. AI in medical science. Artificial intelligence in healthcare is the use of complex algorithms and software, in other words, artificial intelligence, to emulate human cognition in the analysis, interpretation, and comprehension of complicated medical and healthcare data. Specifically, AI is the ability of computer algorithms to approximate conclusions without direct human input. So the major applications are diagnose diseases. Correctly diagnosing diseases takes years of medical training. Even then, diagnostics is often an arduous, time-consuming process, as we know. In many fields, the demand for experts far exceeds the available supply. This puts doctors under strain and often delays life-saving patient diagnostics. So, machine learning, particularly deep learning algorithms, have recently made huge advances in automatically diagnosing diseases, making diagnostics cheaper and more accessible. Machine learning is particularly helpful in areas where the diagnostic information a doctor examines is already digitized, such as detecting lung cancer or strokes based on CT scans, and assessing the risk of sudden cardiac death or other heart diseases based on electrocardiograms and cardiac MRI images, classifying skin lesions in skin images, finding indicators of diabetic retinopathy in eye images. Then it also helps to develop drugs faster. Developing drugs is a notoriously expensive process. Many of the analytical processes involved in drug development can be made more efficient in machine learning. This has the potential to shave off years of work and hundreds of millions in investments. Another one is personalized treatment. See, different patients respond to drugs and treatment schedules differently. So, personalized treatment has enormous potential to increase patients' lifespans. But it's very hard to identify which factors should affect the choice of treatment. This machine learning can automate this complicated statistical work and help discover which characteristics indicate that a patient will have a particular response to a particular treatment. So, the algorithm can predict a patient's probable response to a particular treatment. The system learns this by cross-referencing similar patients and comparing their treatments and outcomes. So, the resulting outcome predictions make it much easier for doctors to design the right treatment plan. And this AI also helps in improving gene editing. Then comes to air industry. The use of AI technology in commercial aviation has brought some significant changes in the ways flights are being operated today. World's leading airliner service providers are now using AI tools and technologies to deliver a more personalized traveling experience to their customers. Engineers have found AI can help the aviation industry with machine vision, machine learning, robotics, and natural language processing. Few airlines now use artificial intelligence for predictive analysis, pattern recognition, auto scheduling, targeted advertising, and customer feedback analysis, showing promising results for better flight experience. This AI helps in identification of the passengers, baggage screening, assisting customers, and maintenance prediction. Similarly, AI is involved in every industry in the current scenario. So now let us see what this AI actually means. Artificial intelligence is a wide-ranging branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. Some of the most popular examples of artificial intelligence that's being used today are: one is Siri. Everyone is familiar with Apple's personal assistant Siri. She is the friendly voice-activated computer that we interact with on a daily basis. She helps us find information, gives us directions, add events to our calendars, helps us send messages, and so on. Siri is a pseudo-intelligent digital personal assistant. It uses machine learning technology to get smarter and better able to predict and understand our natural language questions and requests. Then comes Alexa. Alexa's rise to become the smart homes hub has been somewhat meteoric. See, when Amazon first introduced Alexa, it took much of the world by storm. However, its usefulness and its uncanny ability to decipher speech from anywhere in the room has made it a revolutionary product that helps us scour the web for information, shop, schedule appointments, set alarms, and a million other things. But also help power our smart homes and be a conduit for those that might have limited mobility. And the other one is Tesla. Not only for the fact that it's received so many accolades, but because of its predictive abilities, self-driving features, and sheer technological coolness. Anyone that's into technology and cars needs to own a Tesla, and these vehicles are only getting smarter and smarter. And now coming to Sophia. This Sophia is a social humanoid robot developed by Hong Kong-based company Hanson Robotics. Cameras within Sophia's eyes combined with computer algorithms allows her to see. She can follow faces, sustain eye contact, and recognize individuals. She is able to process speech and have conversations using a natural language subsystem. Then comes to Netflix. We all are familiar with this. Netflix provides highly accurate predictive technology based on customers' reactions to films. It analyzes billions of requests to suggest films that you might like you might like based on your previous reactions and choices of films. This technology is getting smarter and smarter by the year as the dataset grows. However, the tech's only drawback is that most small labeled movies go unnoticed while big named movies grow and balloon on the platform. Now, what is intelligence? This intelligence has been defined in many ways, like the capacity for logic, understanding, self-awareness, learning, emotional knowledge, reasoning, planning, creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. So, when you apply the same intelligence to machines, then it is known as artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. The term may also be applied to any machine that exhibits traits associated with a human mind, such as learning, problem solving, decision making, and so on. So, if a machine shows traits normally shown by human, then it is known as artificial intelligence. Most of us think that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning are all same. But let me clear you that what they actually mean. As you can see here, AI is the major part under which this machine learning and deep learning comes. So, AI is a field of science that is primarily concerned with getting computers to do tasks that would normally require human intelligence. Now, ML is a subset of AI, and it means that a set of algorithms that allow computers to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. In ML, we mostly use numerical and statistical approaches to achieve artificial intelligence. And when it comes to deep learning, it is also a subset, which means a more recently developed set of learning techniques, and it comes in where this machine learning failed. It works on something known as artificial neural networks, about which you'll know soon. Now, let us see in brief. As I said before, artificial intelligence is superset under which machine learning and deep learning comes, which are the ways to achieve this artificial intelligence. These are the different areas of research in artificial intelligence. So here we have machine learning, under which deep learning comes, and then natural language processing, that is, it is used to understand and what is actually spoken or written by human. And then we have speech, in which we translate speech to text and text to speech. Next subfield is robotics, under which this autonomous vehicles comes. So Tesla is an example of this. Now let us see some examples of machine learning around us. One is Amazon product recommendation. See, when we shop on Amazon, we will see some recommendations. So how do you think that will happen? Let me tell you. That is something known as recommendation engine, which is a component of machine learning. Amazon recommends a range of products from different categories you have been browsing, with the aim of putting products in front of you that you are likely to click, learn more about, and buy. The other one is Alexa. It gives us information regarding everything. It is based on speech recognition, which is also a component of this machine learning. Then comes Netflix. Then Netflix movie recommendation is something like, if you watch any series with some similarities, like if they are of comedy thing, then you will be recommended with the same sort of series. This is how this movie recommendation of Netflix works. Now let us see how this machine learning actually works. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence which gives a machine the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Machine learns with the help of data. See, as I already said, machine learning is totally dependent on data. Initially, here the data taken will be divided into two parts, that is training set and testing set. We'll train the model on top of the training set. Once the model is trained, we'll give a new input data to the model and test for its accuracy. If the accuracy of the if the accuracy of the new data comes good enough, then we'll go ahead, or else it will modify the model for the enhance of its accuracy and test it again. This is how the machine learning algorithm works. This machine learning has subdivided into supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Now, Let us see supervised learning first. Consider yourself as a student sitting in a math class wherein your teacher is supervising you on how you are solving a problem or whether you are doing it correctly or not. This situation is similar to what a supervised learning algorithm follows. That is, with input provided as a labeled dataset, a model can learn from it. Labeled dataset means for each dataset given, and solution or answer to it is also given. This would help the model in learning and hence providing the result of the problem easily. So, to make you understand that, let me introduce you to the types of problems that supervised learning deals with. These are the two problems: classification problems and regression problems. Classification problems ask the algorithm to predict a discrete value that can identify the input data as a member of a particular class or group. Taking up the animal photos dataset, each photo has been labeled as a dog or cat, etc. Let us think that. And then the algorithm has to classify the new images into any of these label categories. Now, when it comes to regression problems, are responsible for continuous data. The example for predicting the price of a piece of land in a city given the area, location, etc. Here the input is sent to the machine for predicting the price according to previous instances, and the machine determines a function that would map the page. If it is unable to provide accurate results, backward propagation is used to repeat the whole function until it receives satisfactory results. So, see, this is the initial data on which we train the model, and if we give this input raw data, that is a new data after this model is trained, it process and find out the data that is it is similar to the trained data or not. If the accuracy is satisfactory, then we'll go ahead, and if it is not satisfactory, we'll modify the model and then retest it. This is simple thing that shows you how a supervised learning works. So here is an example of supervised learning. Here initially the model is taught that these all are apples. So whenever you get similar images, they are considered as apples. So the model is trained on this dataset. Now if you give a new image based on the training data, the model predicted it as apple with 97% accuracy. This is how supervised learning works. This supervised learning use case is spam classifiers. Most of the spam classifiers, spam filtering techniques are based on text characterization methods. Thus, filtering spam turns out to be a classification problem. So, we employ supervised machine learning techniques to filter the email spam messages. Now comes to unsupervised learning. As you saw in supervised learning, the dataset is properly labeled, meaning a set of data is provided to train the algorithm. The major difference between supervised and unsupervised learning is that there is no complete and clean labeled dataset in unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is a type of self-organized learning that helps find previously unknown patterns in dataset without pre-existing models. When you are talking about unsupervised learning algorithms, a model receives a dataset without providing any instructions. Also, you don't know exactly what you need to get from the model as an output yet. You might be guessing that there is some kind of relationship between the dataset you have, but the problem here is the data is too complex for guessing. So now what will the model do? Well, in such cases, grouping of data is done and comparison is made by the model to guess the output. From this, you can clearly know what is unsupervised learning. Here, a group of different colored coins are given to the model. Now, what it does is, based on the similarities, it forms the clusters. See, now here it formed the clusters. This is how unsupervised learning works. Now comes to reinforcement learning. After discussing on supervised and unsupervised learning models, now let me explain you reinforcement learning, as it is based on neither supervised learning nor unsupervised learning. What is it? To be straightforward, in reinforcement learning, algorithms learn to react to an environment on their own. To be a little more specific, Reinforcement learning is a type of learning that is based on interaction with the environment. It is rapidly growing along with producing a huge variety of learning algorithms that can be used for various applications. Examples of reinforcement learning include self-navigating vacuum cleaners, driverless cars, scheduling of elevators, etc. Now let us see a simple example. Let us consider an example of a child trying to take his or her first steps. What will be the instructions he or she follows to start walking? First, they will observe others walking and trying to replicate the same, and then standing still, and then remaining still, and then trying to balance the body weight along with deciding on which foot to advance first to start walking. It sounds like a difficult and challenging task for a child to get up and walk. But for us, it is easy since we have become used to it over time. Now, putting it together, a child is an agent who is trying to manipulate the environment by trying to walk and going from one state to another. Now, a child gets a reward when he or she takes a few steps but will not receive any reward or appreciation if he or she is unable to walk. This is a simplified description of a reinforcement learning problem. This similar thing is applied in the real world. So, for driverless cars, if it is going in the correct way, then it is going to get a reward. If it is going in the wrong way, it readjusts it and goes in the correct way. This is how those driverless cars also work. Now, these are the three different types of machine learning, that is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. In supervised, we have regression and classification. In unsupervised, we have clustering, association analysis, and hidden Markov model. And finally, reinforcement learning is based on trial and error method. Now, let us also know limitations of machine learning. These machine learning algorithms require massive stores of training data. As I already said, it is based on data. So if you have large amounts of data, then only it will be very accurate. And error diagnosis is also very difficult in machine learning. As we have massive amount of data, if any problems occurs going through that total code is very difficult. And these machine learning algorithms will be used only for one specific model, and so it cannot be used for any other things. Also, it has a lot of time constraints as it has to learn lot of historical data. This is all about machine learning. Now comes deep learning. Deep learning is based on learning data representations as opposed to task-specific algorithms. It teaches computers to do what naturally comes to humans. As we all know that the drawback of machine learning is that it is confined to only one particular model, but this is not the case with deep learning models. So the deep learning models are built with something known as deep neural networks, and this is how they look like. These networks completely learn the data they are fed with. Here, this is the data that is given to the model, then it completely extracts the features of this. Again, the difference between machine learning and deep learning is, in machine learning, the feature extraction is manual, and in deep learning, it is automatic. So now, when a new image is fed to it, then the model automatically tells whether it is same image or not. Here is a graph which tells us about how does a performance varies with increasing data. So in machine learning, up to some extent, that is up to a threshold value, if you increase the amount of data, the performance also increases. But after that, even though we increase the amount of data, there will be no increase in the performance, that is the performance remains still. But in deep learning, as the amount of given data increases, the performance increases continuously. This is the difference between machine learning and deep learning. Now let us see some applications. One is voice recognition, which is possible by using deep learning models, and the other one is visual translation, which is also achieved by using this deep learning models only. Then what is artificial neural network? Basically, a neural network is a computing model whose layered structure resembles the network structure of neurons in the brain with layers of connected nodes. It can learn from data, so it can be trained to recognize patterns, classify data, and forecast future events. Now, ANN are computing systems inspired by the biological neural networks that constitute animal brains. Such systems learn to do tasks by considering examples, generally without task-specific programming. See, this is a biological neural model which has dendrite, cell body, and axon. Here, the dendrites are the ones where the input is taken, and the cell body is where the processing is done, and axon is where the message is transferred to other neurons. So the same thing happens in artificial neural network model also. It is based on deep neural networks and has totally 3 layers: input, hidden, and output layers. Here the term deep usually refers to the number of hidden layers in the network. So in this, the data is given to the input layer and it is processed in the hidden layers, and the output will be shown on the output layer. That is, the final processed result is given in the output layer. Here, I have trained the model with images of dogs and labels will be cat or dog. So then we basically tried whether the model correctly classifies the images as cat or dog. And since the model has learned data correctly, it classifies the image as dog. So this is how a deep learning works. I hope you all understood what exactly is this artificial intelligence. So if you have any queries, please let me know through the comment section or mail me at anitronics.info@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video.